very good afternoon. Gunatraye Vedena Murtitraye Upayeshe Traye Bhuvetri Netraye Triloki Batayen. There are many teachers and seniors, those who are present here. I bow to them and I am thankful to World Ayurveda Congress and especially Dr. Asit Panja sir for involving me in this hands-on training on manuscriptology which has been given to us. And in this regard, we have heard now Dr. Asit sir narrated what is manuscriptology, what is need of study of manuscriptology, and what researches which can be done in manuscriptology, and what are the domains in doing research on Ayurveda manuscripts, and certain examples how the edition of manuscripts can be done and what works have been done by different departments or institutes in the study of manuscripts. That has been narrated. So let us move further. My part is on, go to the slide, change slide. My part is only physical, as researches on manuscriptology and critical edition are the two entities where more thinking process is needed. And the part which I am going to cover now is on preservation and conservation of manuscript. Previous slide, please. Previous, first one. Preservation and conservation of the manuscript, and there is no special mentioning as for Ayurveda manuscripts or other manuscripts. The preservation conservation is different. It is same for all the manuscripts, and we are going to do preservation conservation after bringing the manuscript from different sources. And how to collect a manuscript, that has also been narrated by Dr. Asit sir. Next. There are many dangers to the manuscript, like human factors are there, natural factors are there, and inherent factors are present for deterioration of the manuscript and derangement of the manuscript. We'll see one by one. Then later we are going to do hands-on training for preservation of the manuscript. Human factors like carrying the manuscript from one place to another place is a part which is going to destroy the manuscript. It will get destroyed, but the curator is going to sit hours together, days together to repair that, and this is one more hazard which destroys the manuscript. Faulty restoration techniques are there, like application of sellotape and labeling of the manuscript or writing on the manuscript, as well as sticky notes will be placed on the manuscripts, and stapling will be done knowingly, unknowingly, fortunately, unfortunately. These are all the aspects which are going to deteriorate the lifespan of the manuscript. Tears and folds usually are going to get manifested in the manuscripts. Here in this picture you are going to look at certain tears and folds which have been created on the paper manuscript. And there are certain natural factors which are going to destroy the manuscript. First enemy is dust. Dust is the major enemy for destroying of the manuscript. So manuscript are to be preserved, stored in air conditioner rooms where dust will be too less, and usually dusting will be done for preserving the manuscript so that it should not get deteriorated quickly. Temperature is one more, and relative humidity is another one which is going to destroy the manuscript. Natural calamities like earthquake are going to destroy the manuscript, flood are going to destroy the manuscript. Atmospheric pollution is one more entity. Then light. If light is more than 40 lux, it is also going to destroy and deteriorate the manuscript. There are many worms which are going to destroy the manuscript. They are called as bookworms, silverfish, rats, termite, cockroaches, and wasps are going to lay their egg, or they are going to cut the manuscript and they are going to disfigure the manuscript. The eggs which will be laid down and the secretions which are going to be done by the bookworms, they are going to destroy the manuscript. If manuscript is destroyed, the culture which is present in the manuscript or thought which is there in the manuscript, that is destroyed forever. So utmost care has to be taken for manuscript. These are certain examples of how bookworms are going to destroy the manuscript. The bookworm has laid an egg on the right manuscript, and because of secretion and eggs, the letters have gone in the manuscript. And second one, termite has consumed, and this is termite eaten manuscript. Which is destroyed, that is destroyed, we cannot replace it back. Now at present day in different countries, infrared radiation techniques are available, which they are going to identify the letter which has been missed in it. Fungus attack is one more entity where when relative humidity will get fluctuating, the fungus are going to usually will be grown on the manuscripts. And these are few examples where the fungus attack has been shown in the manuscript. There are certain inherent factors which are going to destroy and defigure the manuscripts. Natural tendency is there. Palm leaf manuscript usually will get retained for 800 years and paper manuscript for around 400 years, handmade paper. After that they will get destroyed, that is the lifespan of those manuscripts, and before that it has to be preserved and they are to be digitalized so that they can be used further for any researches. Basic nature is there, the one which is being produced, that should get destroyed, so destruction is going to happen naturally even to the manuscripts. So what is the reason for conservation or preservation of the manuscript? These manuscripts are going to teach us a link in human progress. Human progress, like Brahmi script, from there originated many scripts, and Devanagari script also originated from that. And it is going to teach us what is the link of the scripts. Second entity, the artistic value will be there for the manuscript. Beautiful manuscript you are going to look at here. These are the manuscript where gold and silver ink have been used. The yellow color what you are going to look at, that is gold ink. And white color what you are going to look at, that is silver color. And plant made color has been used on all these manuscripts. And there is a fantastic artistic value for this manuscript. And one more information is, in Bengaluru there is a center which is called as Mahabharata Samshodhana Pratishthan, where Mahabharata manuscript is there. The border has been designed with gold, and that manuscript will cost more than crores together, and that is the artistic value which it is going to show to us when we are going to look at it. Third entity, historical significance will be there. So for that we need to preserve the manuscript. This is rust-free iron pillar at Delhi, where historic value is there for this. So manuscript are to be preserved, stored and conserved. Knowledge and wisdom, for that we need to store, preserve the manuscript. It is our duty that ancient scholars have written their thought process. So that thought process has to be carried to the further generation, and the practice culture which is there, that has to be carried to the further generation. So for that duty we need to preserve it. Respect. So one more entity where our ancestors were brilliant and have documented so nicely the manuscripts, and we need to give respect. Like how we are going to give respect for our elder people, in the same manner these are to be respected. Last entities, there are n number of, already Asit sir has told, 40% have been published, 60% yet not published. Unpublished manuscripts are there. They are going to throw light in newer understanding, as well as understanding new thoughts, as well as new practices, new clinical practices that will come into the role. So for that it need to be preserved and conserved. So the author says, this is Suvashita, Tailan Rakshe, Jalad Rakshe, Rakshe Chitra Bandana, Murkastena Datavyam, Tasman Vadet Pustakam. Manuscript has to be protected from Taila. It should not get immersed in the Taila. Jalad Rakshe, it should not get immersed in water. Rakshe Chitra Bandana, from loose binding it has to be protected. Murkastena Datavyam, it should not be given to an ignorant person who don't know the value of the manuscript, and manuscript will get destroyed. And there is one more proverb which says, Pustakam Vanita Vittam Parastagate Gate. Pustaka, if it has been handed over to others, it will not return back. If it return back, it will return back with deterioration or destruction. So, manuscripts are to be preserved for artistic value, historical significance, and knowledge and wisdom. There are two ways of conservation of the manuscript. One is preventive conservation, another is curative conservation. Both are to be done for the manuscript so that we can conserve in both the ways. First one is easier way, and it will be adopted by all the manuscript libraries, preventive conservation. Curative conservation centers are very less, and they are there established by National Mission for Manuscriptology as 7-8 centers in India, and in our SDM Hassan we have established this curative conservation unit for just 1,500-2,000 manuscripts, and a lot of effort is needed in doing the work there, and a lot of time is needed, temperament is needed, and involvement as well as dedication and interest is needed for curative conservation of the manuscripts. Preventive conservation, there are certain ideas like ideal temperature has to be maintained. For that, 20 to 25 degrees centigrade is the ideal temperature to preserve the manuscript. So optimum light should be around 40 lux. For that, lux meter will be used, and temperature monitor gadgets will also be installed into the manuscript museum as well as laboratory, where we can maintain the light as well as temperature. And relative humidity is one more entity which need to be maintained, and there are certain many chemicals are available to preserve relative humidity that will be used, and air conditioner is the best part where relative humidity will be maintained. These are the storage shelves where manuscript will be stored so that the manuscript can be preserved for longer period. Now, on the right side you are looking at traditional method of storage, ancient method of storage. Now we are not going to store like this. On the right side, the gap which we are going to look at between the red cloth, that gap has to be maintained so that manuscript can also breathe. How we are going to breathe through, in the same manner it can also breathe. Red cloth or yellow cloth are used, and these two are going to act as insect repellent cloth. And usually cotton cloth we are going to use after destarching, and again it is washed, starched, destarched, and it is used for wrapping up the manuscript. I will show you further how manuscript has to be binded. The other methods of storage in ancient time which are used are this: hanging the manuscript or storing in a box. Such methods are also done in ancient time to preserve the manuscript. Biopesticides are used for the manuscripts, like citronella oil is used. I have bought citronella oil and certain chemicals here. We will do a hands-on training after finishing this. So let us move further quickly so that we can do the work here. Neem oil, walnut oil, and camphor oil are the other entities which are used here. Usually used oil is citronella oil, and camphor oil we are using in our SDM Hassan because citronella oil has started giving us fungus when we have started applying, because relative humidity varies a lot in our area. So combination of camphor oil and other vallataka oil we are going to mix together and we are going to use. Chemicals, insect repellents are available like DDT powder, 5% mercury chloride, ammonium thiosinate, and potassium thiosinate are the other chemicals which are used for insect repellent chemicals, which are spread in the shells or they are kept in the manuscript repository. These are the material which are used. First one, naphthalene balls are tied and kept in between the manuscripts. Old method, we are not using it right now. Camphor cubes are tied and kept in between, but when rainy season will come or summer season will come, camphor will start oozing and it will leave its color to the manuscripts. We are using vacha powder with many other material like sesame seed and pak yela. With the proportion we are going to mix, and we are going to make our own herbal powder. The base material is vacha. Katu vacha powder is made and it is tied in a cloth and it is kept in between the the manuscript at equal distance so that insect will not come into near the manuscript and manuscript will not get destroyed. This is fumigation chamber where manuscript once comes from outside. The manuscript need to be fumigated because bookworms will be there in it or worms will be there in it. It has to be destroyed, and the manuscript is placed in this fumigation chamber like this. Below there are two lights of 40 watt and 60 watt. They are lit, and above there is the plate which you are looking at. Those plates, thymol crystal, or usually thymol crystal will be used, and thymol crystal is placed in that plate and lights are switched on. The thymol crystal will start evaporating and the fumes will encircle this fumigation chamber. 6 hours the light is switched on, then the light is switched off and manuscript will be retained there for 2 days or 48 hours. Then after that the manuscript is taken out, cleaned, and it is stored in the storage unit. Chemical used for fumigation. Thymol crystal mostly used in majority of the libraries. We are using that. Even we can use paradichlorobenzene or combination of thymol and paradichlorobenzene too we can use. Ethyl oxide, carbon dioxide crystal can also be used for fumigation in the fumigation chamber. To maintain relative humidity, these two chemicals we are going to use. Potassium or sodium dichromate usually used. Magnesium arsenate can also be used. Relative humidity can be maintained at appropriate, as mentioned earlier, so that manuscript will be retained properly in the storage units. This is vacuum fumigator, where computer generated, and when we keep it in this, the timer has been set. It is going to monitor all that, and everything will be done automatically. And such machines are also available, but the cost is huge. We are not going to use these, but it will be used at certain manuscript libraries. Deacidification with ammonia gas, even tins are available. Deacidification can be done. Other modes of deacidifications are also there. I'll show you in the video how deacidification of paper manuscript will be done. It is not done for palm leaf, it is done for paper manuscript, because paper will go into acidic nature, will develop acidic nature with passage of time. So it needs deacidification so that it can be preserved for more than 400 years. And we are using calcium carbonate and calcium hydroxide solution, and we are going to give bath for paper manuscript on this calcium hydroxide, calcium carbonate, and then we are going to wash it. Then it is dried under shadows, then manuscript is preserved. Paper manuscript deacidification will be done. The other insect repellent gadgets like rat attack and fumes which will come indicating about those gadgets are to be fixed in the manuscript library. Fire extinguisher and smoke alarm are the other gadgets which need to be present in the manuscript museum. How to preserve? Limiting number of visitors to the manuscript library is the mode, because people are going to carry dust to the manuscript museum or laboratory. So limiting them. Clean hands are to be used while handling the manuscript. Wear cotton gloves or gloves are to be worn while handling the manuscript. Do not remove it from the folder. If you want to remove it from the folder, it has to be carried in a tray, and through that tray it has to be transferred from one place to another place. Use 2 hands to handle the manuscript. With single hand we are not going to hold the manuscript, because manuscript may get cut. We are going to cut it within a minute or 2 or a second, but to repair it, lot of time is needed. A certain time I have sit 2 days to repair palm leaf manuscript which has been broken, half part which has been broken. So better we preserve it so that it should not be cut into pieces. Do not hold manuscript in the hand, and do not rest your hand like how I am resting on the desk. In the same manner, do not rest on the manuscript. That is, these are the modes where manuscript can be preserved. Eatables should not be taken near to the manuscript library or manuscript storage unit. Eatables are there, 100% that insects will be attracted, or rats, cockroaches will come there and they'll destroy it, disfigure the manuscripts. Theoretic conservation. let us move further. How manuscript will be preserved when it has been broken, or paper manuscript has been broken, or letters are not appearing, re-inking is needed. So how to do it? That we'll look at through the video. Then we'll start the hands-on training here. Videos, please. Videos are there, 8, 9 videos are there. One by one you go on putting on. So there are methods of re-inking, oiling of palm leaf manuscript, and preservation of paper manuscript. All will look through the videos, and even putting it in the fumigation chamber. The video will go on, I will go on demonstrating how these all will be done in the manuscript library. WAC 10.5. Until then, they'll start the video. I'll show you the certain materials which we are going to use for manuscript repair. These are Japanese tissue paper which are used for repairing palm leaf as well as paper manuscript, and hole will be there or it has been cut into pieces. This Japanese tissue paper is available in Delhi as well as in several other stores in Delhi. This is pottery which we are going to start with the vacha powder, and now vacha powder is taken, and many other pepper, cinnamon, and many other materials which we are going to use in 1:8 proportion. Vacha will be more. 1/8 of that we are going to use other material, and powder will be prepared and it will be tied in a cloth like this, and they will be kept in between the manuscript at equal distance. Now you are looking at this in this video. Next video, please. Banana paper tissue repair. This is done with that Japanese tissue paper which I shown earlier. See now, the hole is there in the paper manuscript, palm leaf manuscript. That will be repaired with the use of Japanese tissue paper with the usage of ink. That fibers which will be there in the Japanese tissue paper, they will be taken, mixed with gum, and it is filled into the hole which has been created by the worms in the manuscript, so that it can be stored for longer period. And the gum which is used is that is also available with conservation units which are there in Delhi, NCR Delhi. We are going to purchase from there and we are going to use them. And even Fevicol and with the distilled water mixture can also be used, but little Fevicol is needed, more distilled water is needed. Bas, next video please. Re-inking. First one, 11. This is re-inking of palm leaf manuscript, where palm leaf is taken. This is not done for paper, it is done only for palm leaf. Now, surma or kajal is taken, mixed with citronella oil, and pottery with a cotton swab, it is applied over the manuscript where letters are not visible. To make it visible, this re-inking process is done. Ink will settle into the groove. Then after that it is washed off. Ink will settle into the groove and letters start appearing, so that we can read it easily, the manuscript. This is the method. Manuscript has to be held at the middle and from one side, on the other side it is done. It is not done from one place to other. Middle part to one right side, middle part to left side. Re-inking will be done. Next more video. 14 point, digitalization. This is digitalization. Several ways are there. One mode I am narrating. With the scanner we are going to scan it and we are going to digitalize. Even with the reprographic camera too, we are going to do digitalization. Yes. Now, the manuscript has been digitalized and it has been stored with bundle is done and stored at appropriate storage with the motherboard attached. Now we can tag it to our cloud place and we can store it for further usage. Next, one more video. Next video. Binding. Conservation, binding. Family manuscript, Rupashri. Tying of the manuscript will be shown. These entire processes are physical, there is no mental involvement, and because it is conservation technique. I cannot bring those and can tie it here, so for that I have got videos. I have got few leaves so that we can do little hands-on training. See how the manuscript is appearing now after time with after time cloth has to be used, and this is not only then over that using a cloth over that cloth is used. Yeah, should be there both the sides, so the gradient will be there. Manuscript is kept at the middle. Same way as tied earlier. How it has been tied earlier in the same manner with the cloth. It has to be tied again, and manuscript has been after time it has to be stored in the storage unit. Now after tying the cloth, it appears like this and it is stored in the storage. This cap is there so that close. Next one, it is stored in the storage. Family manuscript. De-acidification of paper. Below, second one. below presentation, deacidification. First one.
Now we do deacidification of paper manuscript.
This is done only for paper manuscript.
Deacidification of paper manuscript. Calcium carbonate is added to one tray.
Calcium hydroxide and calcium carbonate are
and another tray. Calcium hydroxide is added in the same quantity, 1.5 spoon. And another has to be kept free, only plain water, so that we can wash it to the ready part. Now I am mixing it, calcium carbonate properly and calcium hydroxide properly, so that it will get equally distributed into the water. Now before doing deacidification of the paper, first we need to identify whether it is ink is water soluble or not. For that we will take a swab and we will spray distilled water and we will see whether ink is water soluble or not, just applying to a number. Now ink is not spreading, so it indicates that now ink is spreading. This is water soluble ink which has been used. One more, this is also acidic in nature. Let's see whether water soluble or not. By applying it to a liter. Now this is not water soluble. This is proper ink and we will do deacidification of this paper manuscript. Before that we need to take litmus paper and we will spray distilled water to this paper and we will see whether it is acidic or not. Now it will be compared with the litmus paper. Paper is not acidic, so also I will demonstrate the deacidification method for paper manuscript. It is done only for paper manuscript. Paper manuscript is taken in a plastic sheet, it is covered and hooks are placed here so that water can enter inside. Excess water is also not needed, so hooks are used here. Another side too is done. In the middle, one more is placed, and now this is ready to give bath. Calcium carbonate bath is given first, which we have prepared earlier, and followed by that calcium hydroxide solution, it is immersed and bath is given. Now later followed by that in plain water it is washed. After this procedure, all the attachments are removed out and the paper is taken with utmost care. And it is kept under shadows for drying. Next please. Now we do deacidification of paper. Fumigation chamber.
This is the fumigation chamber for the purpose of deworming of the manuscripts. We use both paper and palm leaf manuscripts. These are the thymal crystals which are used for the deworming process. The thymal crystals are placed on the steel plate on both sides. Here, palm leaf manuscripts are kept diagonally for the better exposure for the light. The manuscript should be spread out for the better exposure. Then switch should be the bulb is 45 to 60 watts and it should be kept for 6 hours for 2 days, nearly 48 hours.
Next video, please.
The bulb should be switched on for 6 hours and should be
Oiling of manuscript. It is one of the methods for preservation of the palm leaf manuscript, and the ingredients which is used for the oiling of manuscript is citronella oil. We have to
Oiling is done only for palm leaf manuscript. It is not done for paper manuscript.
dip a bottle in the citronella oil.
Citronella oil.
A method of oiling the palm leaf manuscripts.
This oiling is done on both the sides. Excess oil, if it is there, that has to be wiped off. And when every 6 months once we are going to do it for all the palm leaf manuscripts which are there in our
And this
manuscript
has to be
library.
done.
Bas. Next please.
Oiling of manuscript. It is one of the methods for
This is
Japanese tissue paper and the repairing of cut palm leaf manuscript will be shown in this video. This is the gum which will be used. This is gluten-free gum. This gluten-free gum will be taken and spread on the sheet. The sheet should be a glass sheet. On this it has to be done. And this glass sheet, Japanese tissue paper fibers are taken. These fibers are mixed with the gum and they are used for repairing and filling the gaps which will be there in the palm leaf for paper manuscripts.
Next video.
Paper manuscript, Japanese tissue paper will be taken, and these are the Japanese tissue paper with adhesive present in it, and these are to be torn with the hand, and the manuscript which has been cut in pieces, they will be joined together. On one side is sufficient to join the cut manuscripts, and now the torn manuscript has been repaired.
Next video.
Paper manuscript, Japanese tissue paper will be taken.
This is the procedure. For
This is preventive conservation.
manuscript.
Cleaning, dusting
Yes,
of the manuscript.
for the dusting of the manuscript. This is paper manuscript. This is the card catalog. The paper manuscript has to be held properly for the better placement. Then from the middle to the end side, we have to do brushing. We have to do on both sides of the paper manuscript.
Because already I told dust is the major enemy for destruction of the manuscript. Dust should be removed regularly for the manuscript which are there in the manuscript storage unit. Next week.
This is a method of the conservation of palm leaves manuscript. First, we have to do dusting.
This has been done already. Close. Please open the
manuscripts. And the method of doing the dusting is we have to hold the manuscripts at the middle and
PPT one. Preservation PPT. So the methods are there, like recopying. Traditional method is the best method. Manuscript will be copied once, 200 years once, under the Rajashreya or with the governance of Raja and the ministers and in British time ministers, and manuscript will be preserved. And in ancient time it has been considered as Pustakdana, as Mahadana. Many danas are there. Among that, Pustak Dana has been considered Shrestha Dana. Now there are many things like Netra Dana, Anna Dana, Abhay Dana, Vidya Dana. Pustak Dana has been considered as best Dana in ancient time. Photocopying is one more method of preserving. Then microfilming, old method, but it is done at several centers. Then digitalization. This is the new method which we are going to do. We are all having Android, iPhone, mobiles, more than 64 MB cameras. Can do digitalization with that very easily. Or we need to use DSLR cameras and or reprographic cameras and can do digitalization. Software and hardware are needed for digitalization. These are the cameras. On the right side, older version of overhead scanner we are going to look at. On the right side, we are looking at reprographic cameras. This is the method where our manuscript library is having this reprographic camera digitalization method, which we are going to follow. One more method is there, overhead book scanners, or else flat bedded scanner. We are having this flat bedded scanner, which we are going to do digitalization at present. Overhead tabletop scanners are there, even robo scans are also available where digitalization can be done for the manuscript. Softwares like HTML software are used, many OCR softwares which are purely used for Ayurveda manuscripts, Devanagari manuscripts, Devanagari OCR softwares are available, or few are freely available, few are cracked versions available, few we need to purchase so that OCR can be applied and it can be stored at a proper manner, so that conversion can become very easy. We can convert it into various forms, PDF, Word, JPG, TIFF file, so that we can convert it, and HTML editors will also be used, converted into web design. There are advantages of digitalization. It limits the people who are going to touch the manuscript or Xerox copies, and the digital image can be stored worldwide. Can avoid a visit to specific manuscript library. Many advantages are there. To conclude, preventive conservation is widely used as majority of the centers. Curative conservation is not used much, and it's few centers we are having curative conservation in it. And curative conservation units are curative conservation is stress-inducing work, and lot of time is needed, involvement, dedication, and interest is needed for that. Conservation should be in ethical in manner. Otherwise, different forms of conservation will destroy the manuscript. Thank you, and those